everybody, this is Alessandra. Welcome to my home, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making a chopped meat with peas, string beans, tomato. Everything is farm fresh, so this is why I want to make this dish, and it's absolutely delicious. If you don't want to put the chopped meat, go ahead, take it out, just do the vegetable. It comes out just as delicious because it got so many delicious spice like turmeric, coriander, and chili powder. Okay, now basmati rice. We're gonna eat this over basmati rice. So I measured 2 cups of basmati rice. I'm gonna put them in a bowl of cold water, and then later I'll rinse it under running water. The basmati rice needs to get washed, and if it soaks for an hour or so, it's really the best way to make it. And I learned this from my father-in-law. Okay, so let's get started. So right here, I want to show you, I bought the peas that are in the pods, and what you do is you open the pod up and you just move the peas right out. And I'll tell you what a difference it makes from frozen peas or from canned peas. This is the best way to go. In the summertime, you find them spring and summer, so it's do pick them up if you see them in your local stores. Okay, want to show you something also about the string beans. String beans, here's a string bean. What you do is you cut off both ends like this, and your string bean is ready. Again, just snip off with your nail of your thumb and just snap it off. I have some of these very hot chili peppers. They're green, but they're extremely hot and great for cooking. I have here garlic and ginger. The garlic and ginger, what I normally do is I buy a whole bunch, a pound and a pound. I grind it all up and make little packets and keep it in the freezer. I will do a separate tutorial on that, because it really makes it easy. Because if you gotta grate the garlic and the ginger every time you cook, it takes a lot of time, and usually I'm always pressed for time. I got coriander right here and a large onion that I'm gonna chop up. Meet me by the stove and let's get started. Okay, I have a 12-inch saute pan by 3.5 inches high, and it's great because you need the space for the vegetable to spread and to saute the meat. I'm using 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil, but you could also use olive oil, or you could use a little bit less oil if you're using a fatter meat. My meat is only 7% fat, so it's very lean, so it does need a little bit of the extra oil. So I'm gonna go add my 4 tablespoons of oil. I measured them because normally I never do that. And here are my onions that I pre-sliced, and I'm going to slice over the stove the other half of the onion. This is how you want the slices. Okay, I don't like to cube it for this recipe. I like it long ways because it gives them a chance to caramelize at the same time, so you have a beautiful golden and not burned onion. Okay, I'm almost done. I find it easier to do it right over the stove. If you find it easier on the chopping board, go ahead. Okay, so now I'm going to start stirring. And this process is going to be, my heat is on medium. I'm going to say just medium. Because again, you want the onion to start cooking and caramelizing, not burning or not just steaming. So this process is going to take a couple minutes. Okay, the onion looks ready. I'm going to go ahead and add the chopped meat. Now, this process, you just want to keep stirring and turning it until it browns nicely. I'm not going to add my garlic and ginger yet because the garlic burns easily and we don't want to do that. So let's start with this process, and this is going to take, I'm going to say, about 3 to 4 minutes. You see, the 4 minutes have passed, and you see how nice and small the chopped meat is. Okay, now it's time to add the garlic and ginger, and you want to saute that just a little bit. Time to add your spices. I'm going to put a teaspoon of turmeric called Aldi. Okay, then I'm going to put a teaspoon of the coriander, dried coriander, a little bit more. And I'm going to, now this depending on the heat that you like, you could do a teaspoon, you could do half a teaspoon. We like it spicy, so I'm gonna do the teaspoon. Okay? You want always make sure that the spices are fried. Okay, now, of course it looks dry because there's no, we didn't put any of the liquid in, and what's gonna give it the sauce are the tomatoes. So, I've cut up already here the plum tomatoes. I'm gonna start stirring. And as this starts cooking and stirring, keep your heat on medium. I'm going to cut in another 3 tomatoes. Okay, I'm going to do it right over the stove like this. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add the salt already so it lets the tomatoes release its juice quicker, okay? So give it another good stir, and with the, see, I'm using a wooden spoon that's flat at the tip. You want to maybe push down on the tomatoes. If you don't have fresh, I used about 5 large plum tomatoes. If you don't have fresh plum tomatoes, they're in season now, so I love that best. But you could use let's say a cup of passata di pomodoro, or you could use about a cup, I would say 14 ounces of the, let's say if you have the cherry tomatoes. I'm not crazy about the paste. You want to, or even plum tomatoes, you know, plum tomatoes, squeeze them with your hands, a good handful, about a cup and a half will do the trick. You see, look, take a look now, it's already changing, because with the salt, the tomatoes are cooking quicker and they're releasing their juice. I want to press it down and get it all really nicely mixed. I'm going to add my peas. I measured them, they're 3/4 pound. So here go the fresh peas in. Now, take a look at the string beans, how I cut them so small. This is how they go, and they're a pound of string beans. So this is a lot of food, okay? But it's great. Leftovers this tomorrow too. You could also make it without the chopped meat. Just saute the onion, the garlic, the ginger, and add your vegetables. Comes out great too. Okay, look at this. You see these little chili peppers? They're small but so very hot. They go into, and now one more thing. I am going to add, I'm going to say it's about a cup of water, because everything has to cook together. Now, I'm going to lower my flame. First, make sure that it's cooking, because we added the water, so you don't want to, so let's wait to lower the flame. You know what? Let's let it start boiling, and then we'll lower the flame. And now I have cilantro all bunched up. Okay, like this, and I'm gonna add that cilantro flavor for South Asian flavor. It really pulls everything, all the flavors together. Okay, here we go. Now, yes, it's boiling. You see the sides? You see, a cup of water wasn't that much. It's not that it's swimming in water, but it just gave it enough for it to cook everything together. All right, now time to lower the flame. It's on low. The lid is on, and let's let it cook for at least 30 minutes. We'll check back. This is not one of those things where your vegetables are raw. The vegetables are very cooked through. Okay, let's get the rice started now. I put on a 5-quart pot, and I put in about 4 quarts of water, okay? I'm gonna give it a good amount of salt. All right, now, the basmati rice, I rinsed a couple times on the cold running water, and I'm just gonna add it to the boiling water. Let me just get all the rice out. I don't wanna waste any rice. Now, put the lid back on. bring it back to a boil. Now you need to be very careful. This cooks really quick. It's not like a risotto. Basmati rice has very little starch, plus it gets washed. It's a very delicate rice. It's very tasteful and delicious, light in calories. So I'm gonna show you when it's ready to drain. All right, so it's boiling about 4 minutes. Look how long the grains are. Okay, I'm gonna touch one. I'm gonna leave it 1 more minute and then drain it. Taste for the salt. My salt is fine. Now, take a look over to the meat mixture, okay? It was a little bit too runny. I guess my tomatoes were very juicy. And what I did is I highered the flame and just keep stirring to reduce all the liquid because it is cooked already now. Ready to drain. Okay, I'm sorry. I need a kitchen rag. Okay, I'm gonna lower the flame. Don't shut it off because once you drain it, it's gonna go back on the stove for an additional. I'm leaving a little bit of water at the bottom. Okay, here's the rice I drained. So you're leaving a little bit of the liquid. Okay, now give it a shake. The lid back on. 5 minutes on low, and then you shut it off and your rice is ready. Okay, it's all ready. Take a closer look. It came out delicious. It looks fantastic. I wanted to show you how when the basmati comes into these little peaks, that means it's not overdone. It's not overcooked. It's still very light and flaky. And I just want to show you the presentation. I use scallions around it, the chili peppers, and now I'm going to go ahead and taste it. Wow. Such a different flavor from the Italian food I usually cook, but it's absolutely delicious. Also, I want you to take a look further down at the table. Look at this, okay? All this beautiful fresh summer fruit, and I'm going to be making fruit kebabs with cake, little pieces of cake in it. So, subscribe to the videos, hit the notification bell so you could be up to date with all my videos. Thank you for watching. Again, don't worry if I'm going fast with the recipes. All the videos have the directions and ingredients listed. Thank you, arrivederci, alla prossima. Ciao, ciao.